this. Let's kind of set the table now for how we move on to week 3. Give me your top 5 teams in the NFL now heading into week 3.
Yeah, I mean, it's going to be like, it's always hard for me to go, but I do think look, the power numbers are going to come out and say Kansas City is 1, but I will say that I think from my perspective, I think it's going to be I would put Tampa Bay 1, Kansas City 2, and then after that it's a cluster.
It really is.
It really is a cluster. So bear with me here, but I think it's the next 3 are something like Buffalo, Baltimore with all their flaws, but they're not a dumb team, and Cleveland.
I like that.
Notice 4 AFC teams, and then Tampa just buy their freaking selves.
The Tampa Bay Bucks. Okay, we are gonna watch.
What about you?
So I'm gonna go Tampa 1, Kansas City 2. At 3, I think this is an interesting one because you talk about not overreacting to 1 week. The Packers looked like absolute ass cheeks. It was so bad, right? But I think the Packers are a lot better than that. I still think the Packers are and now this is tough because I think if I look at the second NFC team, it's between them and the Rams at this point. I think both those teams are good.
So you're not buying into San Francisco's potential?
They beat the crappy Philadelphia Eagles.
Oh, so Philly's not the
Philly's not a juggernaut. Philly's not a juggernaut. Okay. Tampa Bay 1, Kansas City 2. At number 3, this is going to surprise some people. I'm going to go with Cleveland. I think they're the real deal.
Yeah.
I'm going to go with the Baltimore Ravens at 4, and at number 5, I'm going to keep the Green Bay Packers there. The Buffalo Bills.
So you're out on Buffalo.
The Buffalo
for the
Bills
top 5.
don't make it because I'm a little. Josh Allen's regressing a little bit in the accuracy department, beating the Miami Dolphins with Jacoby Brissett.
Does not a championship caliber team make. Yeah.
So, look, I still think they rebound, but that's just how I have it right now. Who do you think is the second best team in the NFC?
I do think, man, the hard part is you watch New Orleans play this week, and you're like, holy shit, that can go south really quickly. If you throw out week 1 as a result, it's Green Bay. But, like, we've only got 1 game of data on Green Bay, and it looks terrible. I did say on the live show today, I thought the Saints, we weren't baking in, and this is probably our thing. Like, in our models, we don't has fatigue from not being at home for 21 days or so, right? But, like, that was an issue, right? Like, in the 2005 season when the Saints were moved because of Hurricane Katrina, they won opening day too.
Right.
And then, eventually it catches up to you. Hopefully they're going back to New Orleans in a couple weeks, which will be nice for them, and they can get back to having a normal season, but they certainly did not look great today. I'll say Los Angeles, but man, I don't think Los Angeles is a Super Bowl caliber team. So I'm basically just like consolidating all of my love in the NFC on one team, which is Tampa.
You only have so much NFC love.
I mean, I think San Francisco has more potential, but I would not. If San Francisco, so like, here's the thing: if LA is, I think, favored, or maybe it's a pick'em on at home against Tampa next week, right? Like,
we're gonna find out.
How many teams are in the NFC are favored against Los Angeles on a neutral field? Just Tampa, right?
Yeah, I want to see. Let's watch the Packers play tomorrow.
Okay.
I agree
with you.
We've seen this. We've seen the Packers play like absolute garbage in Florida before.
Mm-hmm. We have.
It's just like, and it's an uncomfortable place for Aaron Rodgers. Apparently, he doesn't like that spot very much.
Do you think his family moved there or something? Like, that would be the only explanation.
I don't know. Perhaps. Before we move on, I want to do MVP rankings in a second, but let's look at the 0-2 teams here.
Okay.
Your Minnesota Vikings.
Okay.
Our New York Giants.
Yeah.
Our Atlanta Falcons. Potentially the Detroit Lions. Our New York Jets. Our Indianapolis Colts. And our Jacksonville Jaguars. Do any of these teams have a shot in your mind of coming back and making the playoffs? Or are they all dead?
I mean, of them, it's probably Minnesota that has the best chance, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like they have, Kirk Cousins right now before review has the second highest PFF grade. I think part of that is because they don't trust him, right? So you saw like the penultimate drive before the missed field goal. There was 4 minutes left in the game. The Vikings ran on early downs to Dalvin Cook. They ran screen, even on the last drive, they ran the ball and then threw a screen to Dalvin to get themselves out of trouble. And then Kirk made a couple good passes. Right. And yet they still lost both games. And it was supposed to be an easy part of their schedule. They get Seattle this week at home. Maybe it's the Colts, right? But the problem is Carson Wentz is so bad,
and
George.
he's got a football injury or
a football injury. He certainly has a football injury.
He certainly does. His foot, I believe, is actually they're calling it an ankle sprain.
But remember this time Monday, I messaged you in Slack and I was like, I kind of like the Colts this week. Yeah. And I think you were busy in New York or something. You never responded. I figured maybe George hates this. So then we're in the fucking pit of misery, with Colts plus 3.5, just grinding out that game. And Carson Wentz, my God, that was
tough. I'm riding off the Colts. Okay. What about they are screwed? I'll say this. I think of these teams, and here's the thing with the Vikings. The Vikings play in a division with a clear cut, the Packers, I'm still going to say this, are the better team. The best team in that division. It's not even close. The Giants are interesting to me.
Yeah, I was going to say that.
And the reason the Giants are interesting is that division is still a complete shit show. Yes, they're 0-2, but they will be able to compete still, in my opinion, for a division title. That's just the way that's going to break. And like the Vikings, it's the NFC. Mm-hmm. So there's going to be more of an opportunity for And here's the thing, and I know this is going to surprise a lot of people. Daniel Jones playing really well.
He's the third highest grade in our system, right?
Yeah, pending review here. And I think that needs to count for something because here's the thing. Their run blocking is one of the most hideous things you can find. It's because I was just in New York. It's like the halal cart. It's like getting that, but then not eating it, taking it home, leaving it out, and then the next morning eating it. That is what the New York Giants.
You know what's crazy though?
By the way, I have a recommendation coming for the people later today or later in this podcast. But Daniel Jones has not been. It hasn't been these exceptional plays, but he has been accurate with the football. He's made a couple of big time throws. Daniel Jones has been good, so I think that's the one.
So right before that game, I was actually in Ultimate. I was talking to somebody who I was sort of getting them up to speed on Ultimate, and one of the case studies we were using were the Giants, and the Giants were one of those teams that just did everything wrong in week one. But they had 10 of their 40 dropbacks, let's say, were play action, and I showed this person how to watch all of them, right? How to filter the film and watch all of them, and on all of 10 Daniel Jones dropbacks of play action, he had a clean pocket. It was amazing to watch. Everybody's oh, this offensive line's not functional. It's no, it's other teams' offensive lines are fundamentally similar to yours. They just give them a chance, And then you watch Thursday Night Football, and I'm not trying to do a victory lap here, but everybody said that Washington's defense was one of the best in the NFL, and they very well could be. They got a lot of talent, but I thought Jason Garrett actually called an okay game. They ran play action. They did some things. And it's amazing that if you give your offense a chance, you can score points.
Yeah, I will say, going back to that game, that offense looked very, very bad for a large chunk of that game. Came back, and Giants money line was a great bet, and I was not
Pissed,
pleased
yeah.
that it did not hit.
But